This video is on item variations. So we're looking at this right here, this part number that we found had several variations, and then we filled it out according to the variation. So I'm going to explain how to do this. So here's the part number that I searched, and I want to select all of them, go to items for selected listings in the cell items mode. I already checked for unmerged items, and now I'm going to check for variations. So you can click the listing, click the first listing, and then view the picture of it. And so it looks like we've got door catches for this part number, and we've got 2. And we're just going to go through this list and see how many we have in each picture. So there's 2 here, 2, 2, 2. Now if we only have 2, then we don't have to worry about specifying a variation. But if there's any other kind of picture here, if there's like 1 or more than 2, then we're going to have variations that we need to specify. So there's 1. So right away we're going to have 2 variations. One variation will be 2 catches, and the other will be a single catch. Okay, and so I've been seeing a couple 4s as well. So we've got 3 different variations, and I'm going to specify that in the quantity listed on eBay document. And so over here we've got singles for that part number, we've got doubles for that part number, and we've got sets of 4 for that part number. And you could just, put a 1 in parentheses, a 2 in parentheses, and then a 4 in parentheses, or you could write it like this. Just to clearly communicate the difference between these part numbers, or between the kinds of parts, the specifications, or the variations. So, we're going to go through and see how many total singles there are, and we're also going to see how many we need to delist. So we're going to go through that for each variation. So we'll count singles first. Now you don't want to skip one, so I recommend starting at the top instead of trying to look at the small pictures, because that's hard to see, especially for a small item like a door catch. So, waiting for it to load. Okay. So we're just going to count the singles. And also, while we're counting the singles, we want to keep in mind what prices we're seeing, so that we can automatically eliminate the ones that aren't the highest priced. Okay, so that was our first single, and we're looking at a price of $28. That was 17. That one's 28. So automatically that 17 we're not even interested in. Okay, and then this is another single. This is just a piece that looks like this. And this one's 28. So we've got 3 that are 28, and then 1 that's less. So we've got a total of 4 so far. Okay, so we're going to record that. We've got a total of 4 singles, and then that means that we're going to get rid of 2, so that we have 2 remaining. And we're only looking at the ones that are priced at $28. There's 3 of them. And so we're going to figure out which 2 have the lowest mileage. So I remember the single being a little further down the list, so I don't have to click through all of that again. As long as I make sure I check all 4 of them. Alright, so this is 33116. Oops. That was the 17. This one is 12 something. Okay, and this one is also 12 something. Alright, so it looks like these are the $28 ones, and the lowest mileage ones are here. So we don't need that one. So we need to find the 2 door catches that are singles for the 12926 mileage. So here's one of them. Oh, I'm sorry, we need to ignore those ones. And so this is on row 22. We want to ignore the single door catch on 22, the single door catch on 20, and then we'll find the other 2 to put notes on them. Here's our note, which is also in the instructions. Okay, so here is our first one, and it already has the note, so I don't have to do it again. Make sure anytime you add a note that you save it. Looks like I have removed that mileage. I don't know how. So, little side note, if you delete something, put it back. Now, it may not matter if it's getting delisted, but we shouldn't be deleting things. So definitely save after that. Let's find the next one. Make sure that it has a note. Okay, this one has the note. And then this one should not have a note. Same with 22, should not have a note. Okay, so that is correct. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're counting all the singles, you're finding the ones that we need to save, making sure they don't get notes, making sure the 2 that we're delisting do get notes. You're going to do that for the doubles, you're going to do that for the sets of 4. And then once you're through all of that, you want to sum up how many total were found. And so I'm just going to make sure that I did this right. So I'm going to sum up how many I've counted for, how many of this part number I've accounted for. And so I should have 28, because that's how many I've found on this document. That's how many I used to calculate the delist. And then when you look up here, if you have no filters on, you see 28, then that means you did that correctly, that you found all of them. And then also, over here, I should have 22 that have the note, and so I'm going to double check that. So here's my note. I should have 22 of the 28. Oh. Yeah, so it should be 22 because there should be 2 saved for each of these, and that would be 6 minus 28, so that would be 22. So I should have 22, but for some reason I have 23, so that means you have to go back and check your work. And so we just checked the singles together, so I'm going to go back and check my doubles together. Oops. And so I found that there was supposed to be 22 singles, and then only 20 are supposed to be delisted, so I'm going to go back through and check those. So here's one that's set for delist. So I just went through and counted and made sure that there were 20 singles, or 22 singles. So now I'm going to go back and make sure only 20 of them have the note. This one does not have a note, and it's priced at $35 with an 8,000 mileage. This one's also $35, but it is set for delist, mileage of 40,000. This one has a higher mileage, so I'm not interested. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to figure out a faster way to do this, because when you make a mistake, it takes longer to fix it. So we are going to I think we can sort by cost, by Shopify price. It's all the way over here. Okay. We're looking at the $35 range for the most expensive ones. There should be 2 of them that are unselected because that's the highest price. Okay. So we're looking at these 3. And the lowest mileage ones should not have the note. So that leaves these two. So we'll delete that. And then this other one doesn't have it already, so that's good. So now, when we check to see if we have 22 notes, now it's 22. So now we have quality checked our work. We made sure that these are correct. And we also specified our variations so it's clear. So that's all you have to do.